we're going to discuss a very important topic. We're going to discuss about Om. What exactly Om is. So before I go to my explanation, I just want to hear 2-3 random thoughts from you. What do you think Om represent?
Shiva.
Shiva. Any other answer?
It's a sound that gives you peace.
It's a sound that gives you peace. Very nice answer. Anything else? Okay. Shilpa?
Sound to connect to God.
Sound that connects to God. Exactly. So I'm just going to give you an explanation connecting all these together, why and how Om originated. So Om is just a mystic sound which represents the supreme consciousness, the all-pervasive, omnipotent, omnipresent, all-knowing, almighty. You can call it anything, basically anything. Allah, Lord, Brahman, anything. So Om is that mystic sound which represents God. So anything and everything should be associated to a name, right? When we hear the word apple, what comes to your mind? Suddenly, immediately, a red fruit with a nice soft inside comes to your mind. You did not have to think about it. So how did that happen? It has been in usage for so long, and somebody started using that word, and like that, all of a sudden, when you hear the word apple, that fruit comes to your mind. So it is very difficult to imagine something without a name, right? So Patanjali says that name for God is Pranava. It is a humming, it is a nada, it is a sound, vibration. So that sound which represents the infinite God should also have an infinite idea, right? It should not be a finite word. So Patanjali says it is pranava, it is a humming, it is a vibration. So that particular sound should contain all the vibrations, it should contain all the sounds. Only then it can represent God, right? Because God is infinite. So how is this Om infinite? So all these concept of infinite vibrations, it has to be expressed in a finite word. So that is why we are saying it as Om. In Sanskrit we write it as Om, and in English we have to transliterate it. So we write it as Om. And the more precise transliteration is AUM.
That's
Om.
Sanskrit.
Yes. So how does it represent this infinity? The Mandukya Upanishad says Om is divided into 4 parts. It begins with Akara, and then goes to Ukara, and then comes to Nada, and then the 4th part is the Anahata, which is unpronounced, which is unheard. You cannot hear it, you cannot pronounce it. That is the vibration inside of you, which is always there, which is there inside of you 24/7, which was there before you started chanting Ah, which is there after you chant So that particular Anahata vibration is always inside of you. That is the divinity inside of you. So because of this concept, AUM, Om, is a perfect representation of infinite concept. So when you chant Om, what are you basically doing? You're basically bringing an arrangement which gives you the feeling of God surrounding you, inside of you. Because see, when there is so much sunlight and when you shower a fountain, you can see a rainbow. That doesn't mean that you created the colors. The colors was already there in the sunlight. You just made some arrangement so that you could see the colors, right? Like that, that particular vibration, that divinity is always inside of you. So you are giving some arrangements by vibrating your sound box for you to feel that divinity inside of you. So that is what we all should try to understand when we chant Om. We are not chanting Om as a finite word, as like we say apple. No. Om is a name of God. Om is a form of God. So imagine there is a word like apple. When you say that word, you could get a taste of apple. Imagine there is a word like that. So Om is a word like that. When you chant Om, you're getting a taste of God. You are getting a feel of divinity inside of you. That is how we should chant Om. If you were chanting otherwise, that was wrong. So, Om is a very infinite concept. So, naturally, that is the best word which can represent the all-knowing, the beginningless, the endless, the all-pervasive, the omnipresent God. So, is Om restricted to a particular religion? I don't have any other religion here. So, is Om restricted to a particular religion or a particular country? The answer is no. If any religion believes in God, believes in a creator, believes in a higher power, then Om holds good for them also. And this particular concept of reverberation you can find when Christians chant Amen, when Muslims chant Amen. This particular pranava concept, this reverberation, this invoking of divinity is there in all the religions.